Good evening, everyone. It's 6:10 on the clock, which is actually my mother's birthday, and we're having her service this Saturday, so it's very fitting. The 6 is the Lovers, the 10 is that Wheel of Fortune, a turn for the better. And I have my Union read and my Twin Flame read, but I have another message of the day. I gave you a message of the day earlier because it was very significant. And it was funny because Pulp Fiction was coming up a lot in that video. So if you didn't notice that, the references, it had to do with Pulp Fiction. And so something had come up in my yesterday read and the read, I think it was the day before as well. I kept getting the orphan boy energy of the thief, right? Because that comes up a lot in the Lenormand Reverie deck. And I literally said that, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that I wasn't referencing Sam the Illusionist because I like Sam very much, but I didn't know him as a street magician. And then today he did a channeling where the channel explains that he was swapped out last year because he was struggling in his old life. So it's very interesting because that I was bringing up that information about him. I just didn't know him as a street magician and what he was going through. So obviously now he's been swapped out, and I know Lori Ladd said she was swapped out. I don't know what year she was, but she says she's been swapped out. I don't feel like I am. It's 6:11 on the clock now, the Lovers and Justice. And I'm going to give you, I have a second message now, because I asked, why am I being connected to Sam and his prior life and whatever his issues were back then, whether he was struggling to survive or to live or to get past an obstacle that he had created for himself in his life. I don't know his story. But why am I connected to that and knowing about the swap? Because I was already bringing that up without realizing it in my reads yesterday and the day before. And here he's talking about the soul swap happening on September 21st, which he has brought that up before, but today they literally gave lots of very detailed information about him and about the swap on the 21st. And also reminding us to stay very positive when you fall asleep at night. So you only, if you do decide you want to swap, that you'll only swap to a positive vibration as opposed to wanting to go to a negative vibration. So here is the answer to the question, why have I been connected to Sam's swap? And so I'm going to give you that read in a second, but let me just show you the pictures first of the messages of the day, and then also the other two. All right, so here is the Sam messages of the day that I got. And by the way, you guys all know that I did a reading with Sam because I always tell you that he said my soul name was the Dawn. And then here is the, here is the Union read. Okay, for you who are not familiar with my reads, this is the 4D, 5D, and 6D, feminine left, masculine right, the bridge between them in the middle, the incoming divine feminine, the outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energies up here, and the closing energy there. Here is the Twin Flame read, the basic read that's in front of you on the table. It's a 7-deck read. These are both the Syrian Starseed deck. And then you see the 7-deck read in front of you. So that is 7 decks. It's the Mini Right Waiter. We have the Romance Angels, the Tarot of Sexual Magic here. We have the Numerology deck. We have the Gilded Tarot and the Universal Golden Tarot here. So 7 altogether. And then here is that read that you see on the table. And clear it a little bit. Okay. And now here we're going to go into the message of the day. And then we'll roll the die after the message of the day. We'll take a deep breath after this as well. All right, so regarding Sam and the soul swap and why I was being connected to it, because then he just made his announcement on his video today. And I pulled these cards at 4:14, which my last video I posted this morning was literally 41:14 again. So it's connected to that, going from the 14 to the 15, right? The angel and the devil, right? The light and the dark within all of us. So why was I connected to that message? So the underlying energy was, dear ones, the throat chakra and the solar plexus chakras, which are truth and confidence, when the students are ready, the teacher will come in multiple forms, the cobra, the wolf, the spider, and the World Wide Web. The cobra can strangle and suffocate. The wolf makes a pact. The spider can make it very sticky for everybody. It's hard to get out. They're all looking at me, literally the cards were looking at me, and stunned that I knew that, why I was connected to what he came out with today. So then DE came up, which came up yesterday as well, and DE for me first comes up as Delaware, but then of course I looked up the definition to see what other messages they were trying to get through to me. And part of the messages of DE were written or composed by, which is again my channeling and what my messages are coming through as, but also I write music, as you all know if you watch me regularly. But it also means two, which is the High Priestess and the feminine. It also means to build wealth and to be, to say, and also the South. And I was born in the South, so I guess I'm considered Southern. The high, loving woman, he, she, it. These are all definitions of DE. And then I was getting, as I always say, ground control to Major Tom. It's like I'm a ground controller for some of the other teachers, which actually came up a long time ago too, when I was first starting out. So as soon as I wrote down Delaware, I realized I'm supposed to look up Del because this is about being aware. Here's Del and aware, and Del literally means to exit and be aware, because DE is to be. To exit, literally, and to be aware. So they're telling you when you get swapped out, you're not going to be aware of it because you're going to be asleep, but you are aware of it as a soul because you've already contracted, according to Sam, to swap out, or when you're sleeping, you're choosing as a human that you do want to swap out, so you're making that conscious intent before you go to sleep at night. So, and again, some of the message in here comes up as those who have been here a long time or feel like they've been here too long. Perhaps if somebody's very old, or if someone's very much struggling with this life and how to get through it, they may choose to swap out. But and he explains exactly what will happen if you do, so listen to his video if you haven't already. So again, ground control to Major Tom, and then the zebra and the horse came up together, which are very similar, which is I'm putting on the tag today because it's very much Mr. and Mrs. Ed. He's coming up as Phys Ed, or the physical Ed, right? Because the horse is very much Sagittarius. And then the zebra, which is Mrs. Ed. She's the co-Ed. So I love how they bring these through. The zebra very much is curious and well-cultured and a visionary and likes to travel. So you might want to have your bags packed. They're very young at heart and they're very fiery. So epic adventures and art helps them rebalance. The horse, of course, is all about freedom and force and expansion and never giving up. So strength training is very important. So exercise and meditation for the horse. Remember, the horse is the one who always runs away. Then the sea serpent came up, which is the sacral chakra. Healing emotional wounds and expressing desires comes up with that. And then the tarantula, which is all about making a decision at the Y in the road, right? Which is that now moment, that point of creation, where you need to make a decision about your dharma. What's your spiritual mission here? The tarantula is coming up, all of these coming up as third eye activators at the Y in the road. And for the tarantula, it came up daily journaling is very important to go back to if you're off balance. So the zebra, or Mrs. Ed, or co-Ed, making cuts, while the horse is Mr. Ed, or Phys Ed, cutting cords. The serpent through the family tree is clearing out the gut lining the solar plexus. The rainbow bridge taking a risk in choice of path here. The sunshine energy exposure of falling out in the past, the day the music died, and then Buddy Holly comes up here, where they choked or lost confidence without the tools, thinking they needed to impress. And then the Empress comes up, right? The need to impress, the Empress. The zebra clearing so they can see through the trees to the sun. The horse pulling up anchor from the past. They can't rely on family anymore for your choices. It's time to develop confidence and man up. The loving lady had gotten advice from two wise old owls to let the fox go if that's what they wanted, to the house and the commitment and the spiritual path that will bring them luck. But she is the gift, or with the gifts. The sly fox, or patient angel, or maybe that's her, or the fallen angel with the emperor and the knight of wands, which is that Saggy energy of the house of, instead of the house of cards, it's coming up as the house of flowers and clover over and over, with raps and granting wishes, which is funny because I got a couple raps done when I was at the 2 years when I was actually seeing my twin. The Queen of Pentacles on journey to dump emotional attachments, to surrender, and not just the 9 wands of the Wounded Warrior, but all 10 of Atlas, dumping a load, a burden, of responsibilities, the last straw, the final straw, exposure of the Magi who's not heeding the call in the past, who choked or got scared and didn't know what to say because he wasn't, of course, Mr. Ed Magi. Vultures, raccoon, the sad masked raccoon, and the mouse watching all of this. As you get old or you break down, you become fearless because you have nothing left to lose. Oh, by the way, before I go forward on that, besides just to exit, del, being aware, to exit and be aware, del also means to go out, to give, right? So knowing you want to exit because you want to give, or perhaps you don't feel you have the strength to do it, but also has to do with being pretty down came up, and also to dig, digging really deep but not being able to make the cut. One's fate and luck, it all comes up with del. So Delaware was coming up regarding to be aware of your exit strategy here. And exit strategy has come up in many of my reads actually for the masculine. So when feeling they have nothing to lose, at 4:59, 4 is the Emperor, 59 is the 11th hour. For Mr. and Mrs. Ed, the Christo Sophia representatives, he in the physical ed or phys ed, and she the co-ed, and the vulture, raccoon, and the mouse decrescendo in size, like the 3 bears. The mouse being Mr. Bojangles and the Green Mile, on death row waiting to die, can get swapped out now along with John Coffey and Paul Edgecombe on 9/21, with crosses to bear, literally here with the cross and then the bear, burdens and pushy people and power players trying to keep exposure away from them, but Mr. Bojangles got hit directly, right from the source. The Empress Vulture with the 3 of Pentacles workplace, and the raccoon with the masks, and the juggler, and that of course is Mr. Bojangles doing his balancing act. But for how long? Because remember, they got a jolt and they lived a long time. It's good to help others, like the misses, etc., but it's also hard work. It's also hard work taking in the dark and transmuting it, as you remember with John Coffey. The hyena and the fox, which are kind of furry dogs, and who let the dogs out, but one is clearly darker than the other. The hyena is playing tricks, but then the fox comes in for a switch. The hyena couldn't hack it, so it went from focus on abundance and flow to 2 as one love. The fox is very loyal to 1. Death be not proud for a Page of Swords reversed young boy with issues. So instead of that, there was a swap here. The octopus teacher met the hummingbird, who whispered in their ear. And that's so weird because in one of my songs I was practicing last night, I was doing much more whispering than usual. I was being guided to whisper and whisper and whisper. So the octopus teacher met hummingbird, who whispered in their ear, build it and they will come, with well wishes and breakthroughs through the crown as clouds pass by, for the sun to come out now. The Page of Cups then he becomes with the truth of their mission. The firefly with great inspirations for the twin swans who are very connected to the unicorn. And unicorn is uni and corn also has many meanings, but I told you recently, I looked up my history in my township, and there was a corn factory in the woods across the street. So here's the unicorn, and I have met a unicorn that I was very connected with before in meditation. And those who exude light and inspiration here, as well as the rod and staff twins, unions, and the unicorns channeling. And then, of course, there's some combinations here. To peel back the layers of the labyrinth, a mazing adventure over the rainbow where dreams come true, to grab the brass ring and lead the pup. Once you find them, of course, letting go, laying all the cards on the table. The fair maiden with the beast or lion now by a leash, as they have requested, and the puppy keeps coming up, wanting the feminine to take them by the leash, post-war to help them along. If the mountain won't go to Muhammad, then they must go see the faces of the mountain. The crow stands guard at the gate over the world awakening, with that rainbow light in the world, while the collective awakens and the dark energy is spraying out in all directions of space-time continuum. And then Sheryl Crow came up. She was born 2/11/62, which is literally 5 months after I was born. So it's like Atlas getting relief from Hercules, which Hercules means her backup. And Sheryl Crow, I didn't know, was Michael Jackson's backup singer. So the crow is coming up as Michael's backup singer, or Michael's backup, right? Because Michael's always coming in to protect us. The crow is Michael's backup here. Soak up the sun and have some fun. And those are lyrics or song titles from Sheryl Crow. The Knight of Pentacles offering help here, coming in to offer help, even big help, even with the rock. But they said that they were good and they could go rock and roll on back to where they once belong. All right, so that was the message I got around that. So it was very interesting. And then we have the union read and the twin flame read. Let me get to that page. Oh, that was my earlier message. Okay. Excuse me. So we're going to roll the die. And we're going to take a deep breath too. So for the twins today, number 3, which is the Empress, coming together in joy and Gaia. And over here we have Saturn, which is the taskmaster, of course, and also Capricorn. And then we have Pisces right here. So Pisces, Capricorn, and 3 of the Empress, which is Taurus. And those are like every 2 away. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but you're always connected to 2 forward and 2 back as far as astrological signs. And so here we have Pisces, which 2 back from Pisces is Capricorn, 2 forward is Taurus. So we may be talking very much about Pisces energy here, but also including those other signs. But also Saturn, which is responsibilities. Pisces, which has 1 foot in this world and 1 foot in another. And then the 3, which can represent Pisces in the 3rd month. I'm getting really hot and sweaty right now, which is a lot of masculine energy coming in. So let's see what's going on here. Let's just go ahead first and take a quick deep breath. Let me do a better ring than that. Ready? Take a deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to you guys. Thank you for being here with me. I hope you had a great day today, wherever you are in the world. Okay. So the union read. This was at 6:24 last night. The Lovers and the 24, which is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords would be written that way, 24/6. The 4D5D60 with the underlying energy being Luna or the Moon, the middle energy, the centers, the Starseed, and the final energy being the Strength card. And again, today's the 13th. So it's the 13 of the Death card plus 22, 24, 27. So today's the Ace of Wands, that passion ignited, and the flame. Are we 26 or 27? Yeah, 27. Okay. So the moon, and by the way, she is the moon, came up as one of the first oracle cards at the end of the read yesterday. And here again, the moon starts out the read. The moon, she is the cycles of life, the rock star healer and galactic traveler, the genie in a bottle, the wish granter, balancing sharing and being charitable, mostly with higher self, considering them when others ask for help or for something, because they're two as one. At night, walking on water, like an Egyptian, on the scale of weights and measures, what's your pleasure? One must check in, or I must check in with my higher self first. The 4D here is the lovers, the 9 of swords, and the 3 of wands. The divine feminine lover, all the colors of the rainbow, the divine masculine being present, the gift of the flame, receiving her open heart, bridging by the 9 of swords, underground in the woods, covering their eyes and counting to 9 before whining perhaps. The 5D here is the page of swords, the starseed and the 10 of swords, the divine feminine page of swords, evergreen, who has reached the light, the divine masculine 10 of swords, ending pain and betrayal of sorts, or a massage, bridging in the lush green with downloads to the crown, star seed, the seed that is planted firmly on the ground, ready for whatever may come. The 6D is the ace of wands, the 4 of swords, and the 6 of wands. The divine feminine with new passion ignited, the divine masculine organized and leading the way, bridging with the 4 of swords on break and or in meditation. And remember, 6D is where we manifest to instantly, but it takes time to trickle down to 5 and 4, especially 3. So the outgoing divine masculine is the 6 of cups, 10 of wands, and the 6 of swords. Loving bonds of Atlas leaving the wounded warrior behind, which is the 10 of wands leaving the 9 of wands behind, to find peace to birth through the portal to the other side. The divine feminine with lover's affection with a message and inspiration. And at 8:50 just then I got a big chill. So the big chill is coming up too, which is a movie as well. 8:50, which is the dance, the manifestation, and the strength, the inner and outer strength of the 50, which is emotional fulfillment. And getting a big chill. And a lot of Amy's were coming up yesterday. So lover's affection with message and inspiration. The divine masculine present to what is he present to? Give me a second. I can't read my writing there. He's present to ending pain or receiving bliss and leading the way with good news. The bridge between them is the 9 of swords taking cover as the big downloads coming in for a landing, manifesting more meditation, rest, and reflection. And by the way, an ad that I saw said something good for red eyes is calendula tea, to like use compresses. Don't like put it on the eyeball, but on the corners of the eye and the underlid. That was from Beverly Hills plastic surgeons. Calendula tea, calendula, for red eyes. They said to use a cotton ball or a washcloth compress on eyes, especially the corners and lower lid. So the divine feminine here at 9:01 had Cancer, Aquarius, Pisces, and Gemini on their side, along with the page of swords, which was coming up in my message I just gave you as the vulnerable boy without direction, and the divine masculine here with Leo or Sag on their side with children only. And the movie I watched last night was called Tersanjung. I feel like it's terse and jump. So the saint or the street or path of the lovers that cry, the higher self. Lovers of the dance in high vibe of Florida was coming up, but also off LA, which can be LA or Louisiana, in peaceful travels and through ocean waters and fire portals. The overall number here was 61 of the risk card, the liar, cheater, thief card, the way some of you know it. And the horizontal pillars were 11, 10, and 40, which is justice, the wheel, and the page of cups. The vertical pillars were the 6 of the lovers, the 1 of the magician, 13 of the death card, 19 of the sun, 6 of the lovers, 10 of the wheel, and 6 of the lovers again. The message is coming up as justice destined regarding the innocent and the guilty, as taking a risk to transform and expose lovers destined to be lovers and take a risk. And that was at 9:08, which is the Hermit, again, the Virgo energy that we're in right now, and the 8 of the dance, and manifestation of dreams. So I cut the Syrian Starseed deck for the read in front of you now. Excuse me, that was at 9:16, which is the Hermit and the Tower. And at 9:29, F chalices came up. And for me, F is Phi energy, expanding and contracting. It can be FU if that's how you want to see it, but this is my interpretation. 9:29 is being present in the moment to the Hermit, and the Tower energies here when we cut the deck. And expanding and contracting, or staying in the middle and just reflecting chalices, which have to do with heart and emotions, and the Holy Grail. And the ES, which is the S of Sophia. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Sophia, Maria, whatever you'd like to say. So we have 9:47, which is the Hermit and the 47 of the 7 of Cups. The Hanging Man, the solar deity. So we have a lot of majors coming up again for the twins. They don't usually leave you for long. I don't remember it ever going like a full day without any majors in the main part of the read. So we have the Hanging Man, the solar deity, which is the sun, Guidance, which is the Hierophant, Indigo, which is the magician, and before the read, Karma came up, which is judgment. We had 3 cups, 2 wands, and 1 sword, well, 1 pentacle as well. So 13 and 21, which is the death, and the 21 of the world, so both completion numbers, completing the cycle of karma. And we have the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the King of Cups. So we have the King and Queen of Cups here, along with the Knight of Swords and the King of Pentacles. And after the read, also the 9 of Wands came up, the Wounded Warrior. The only numbers that came up today were literally the 4 and 9, 10. That's it. It's never like this scant. We have the 4 of the Emperor, and then the 9, 10 of begin again and again and again, and that's it. That's it. And 4, of course, has to do with stability as well. Financial discipline and change came up on the code line. And the number was, let's see, we had 4 in the code line. That was it. So just the 4 and the Emperor and stability. Remember, 4 is the lower level of manifestation of survival as opposed to the 8 of your dreams. And we have financial discipline and change going on here. So the interpretation here was after death, the Queen or Wise One are being clear with the 4 of Sophia or Emperor of Sophia, the King of Pentacles being one of 2 of financial discipline and change. After death, clear the 4 of Sophia's King of Pentacles, the Master of being Christ-like or of purging, one of 2. Of or in need of change. Perhaps an advertisement here, but add the Wise Emperor of SMA stir, and the word Smastein came up, S-M-A-S-T-E-I-N, and the A has a little circle above it. I don't know what it's called, but that means pebble or small stone, but without the I-N and adding the R. So it's like adding the Wise Emperor of the small stone or pebble without the I-N or the in, not having an in, but yet adding an R or hour, right? The one of 2 of crystals, or being Christ-like, one of 2, or support of financial discipline and change. And remember, discipline is disciple of self. After death, Wise Emperor of Sophia, the Master of Christ-like, of financial discipline and change. So the Hanging Man's upright here with the Knight of Wands and Karma upright below them. The Knight of Wands reversed falling short of Karma, of the Hanged Man, which is the reference to Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Present to break up, the X, or lack of affection, letting go to fix or make amends and be strong and allow the Hermit's light. Or like Leo, child, or a pet, or taking them to the doctor. Present to Six of Cups love, that innocent pure love, and the clarity of heartbreak and bliss. The King of Swords in the Chariot, and the Knight of Swords reversed, ignoring the Knight of Cups upright, who may be uncomfortable in emotions of being overwhelmed or crying, purging or dumped on, or refusal, or refused love. The Knight of Cups refusing to take no for an answer, where the heat is on, as legs get weak or old, or unable to keep things under control. The twins down there, and there was a reference to the masculine's junk, the twins down there getting rock hard and out of shape, and that can be their own perspective of themselves, losing fluids or plumpness. So it's not just a feminine thing that's worried about, that masculines worry about their look too. At 10:51, the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Swords. Hanging out, dumping a load, an emotional one, sweating it out. Capricorn or Pisces with Gemini reversed, Leo upright, Virgo upright, and Cancer upright here. The Hierophant out taking a peek, and the Chariot boldly moving, or Cancer King of Cups with the worst over, or he's just in bliss. Or the Hierophant and the Warrior's unconditional love and bliss. Taking the show on the road, dipping his toe in the water at 10:54, turn for the better with the Page of Swords message, or a man with his pets, or his polarities, black and white. Worth waiting for, and there could be prejudices that come up here, whether it's masculine, feminine, or their families. Worth waiting for, and beneath that, release your ex. Ending conflict or losing battle, the 10 of Cups upright, just the errand boy for the family. Maybe stunned or surprised or shocked or swapped is just coming up now. The Queen of Swords upright and the Emperor reversed, both. Sneaking around, smelling aromas, while the Queen of Swords upright faces her reflection who won't face her back. Or the Queen of Swords upright sneaking around behind the Emperor reversed back, and then can't believe it. Follow your dreams, number 63, which is suffering in silence, and beneath that is the parenting thing. Well, actually, parenting is the 63, and follow your dreams is 85, which is the reflection of 58, the 5D connection of the Four of Swords. The Three of Cups reversed here, whether it's the third party or bad influences of a group, exposed the magician playing tricks and disconnect or at a distance. And again, there's that reference to Sam, because he used to be a street magician. Implementing a plan to connect in 5D by divine marriage, or planning revenge, or Hierophant or Taurus, keeping them apart, no longer one of his sheep. At 12:40, again, the Hangman and the Page of Cups. The Hierophant hanging out in bliss, with the Emperor reversed following their dreams, giving up all that he has, dysfunctional wealth and powerlessness. Or the Hierophant has hung him out to dry to allow the swords to fall away, one by one, out of the Emperor's back. In energetic exchange here, there's a lot of back and forth, whether it's communication, travel, or sexual energy back and forth, or just energy in general. Coming clean or cleaning up the act here. Resting, perhaps somebody not wanting to live. The Page of Cups innocent, heartbroken, and powerless, to the Knight of Wands player, with a father who abuses their power, with too many options, and seeing synchronicities of the Queen of Pentacles standing up for themselves, whether in disconnect or at a distance, post-War of the Worlds, or Divine Feminine in the 5D, or Pisces reversed. In the recent past is the Four of Wands upright, the home, stability, the union, the celebration, the Knight of Cups upright, who offers love, to the Empress reversed, and the Knight of Wands reversed, impatient or losing patience, and grieving loss, regret, guilt, and shame, sharing or settling out, with the King of Pentacles reversed, fallen angel, or Sag reversed, in energetic exchange, with forcing his agenda onto the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community reversed, or vice versa, them on him. Frustrated and the inability to understand each other, or where the money went at 109, which is the Magician and the Hermit. The foundation here is the Queen of Cups reversed. Without the Queen of Pentacles upright and disconnect or at a distance, the High Priestess, after a sudden event, epiphany, or sexual exchange, dumping a load, purging or overwhelmed, sharing or settling out. The central energy is the Sun, upright, fully energized, exposed, kids, pets, and Leo, happiness and exposure, emotional fulfillment, with the High Priestess, challenged by the King of Pentacles reversed, the Page of Pentacles reversed, the Empress reversed, and then the Hermit, who's upright, shedding the light on their unhappiness, perhaps. The challenge being the father and the child, both reversed here, of Pentacles. Or maybe they're just alike, with the Empress reversed in lack, or just gone, right? Could be a parent who's gone, but being missed. And then the Hermit shedding light on it all, reaping rewards of negative talk, rumors, lying, spying, or a child with a mouth, an upside-down world, or the Divine Feminine in the 5D, or Pisces reversed, and the Page of Wands reversed, or frustrated. The twin flames choosing a path, seeing new perspectives on freedom, being free at last, at last. And that's been coming up a lot this week. Burdened, caught with their pants down, destined an energetic exchange and passion, putting it out there, arousal, clowning around and whistleblowing, choosing the path of a lie or divide or a need for clarity, the whole truth to be set free. The Magician upright, released from the magic box, surrendering to detox and chaos and to let go of their Scroogey ways. And now the Knight of Swords reversed, holding their tongue, the Queen of Cups reversed, released by justice, divorce, and or Libra, in a split, rejected for juggling in marriage, or due to a soulmate, past life innocent connection, loving each other without saying a word. The Moon upright, nightshade, not fully illuminated, the Page of Pentacles reversed, in need of help, money, or opportunity, and the Page of Swords reversed may be lying. Well, they're coming together with the Emperor reversed in a heated exchange or not telling the truth about the Knight of Pentacles reversed and their block, their stubbornness, their disability, or their inability to function. And the King of Wands upright with the Magician and the King of Swords upright with Saggy in their chart, with a rest, meditation, 5D connect, feeling out in the cold, silenced and muzzled, the Queen of Wands reversed, surrendering at the gate, telling him where to go for bliss, that way, moving to peace, away from what's not working, with the King of Wands being affectionate post-war announcement or in a wake-up call. Soon here is the King of Cups upright, and the Page of Swords reversed, suffering in silence, perhaps a sister, or causing the Page of Cups suffering in silence due to juggling, or vice versa. The Page of Pentacles reversed is here too. The King of Cups is upright, and the Page of Cups is upright, so this father and child, but they may be in separation of the others, or heartbroken by the King of Pentacles reversed, who may be playing hardball, or withholding, and uncomfortable with feelings of depression, or arrogance, or loss of hope, and the need to heal. The fallen angel, perhaps out in the cold. The twin flames guidance, room 222, with issues at work, at night satisfied with self or alone. On the journey to heaven, burdened by Atlas and the weight and the world, standing up to others while the Queen of Swords is talking about ending conflict or losing a battle of wills. Past life relationship, finances and career. And then flirt. Wedding, the situation involves marriage, and now separation. Around the twins are how they're seen as the indigo upright, a proposal to split or get clarity, but perhaps somebody's clingy here, or after death, laying someone to rest with clarity and new information about home, union, or celebration. The block here being, or the challenge being, the wounded warrior and surrender, to depression, frustration, risky business, and or running away from grounding and integrating and mastering love, and perhaps feeling sorry for oneself. With change and financial discipline, and perhaps no new passion, or that new passion being held back, at 133 is the Magician and the Christ vibration standing up for oneself. Frustrated with wake-up call, announcement, or decision, and sweet judgment. The Ten of Cups upright, the happy ending, and the King of Wands showing affection and surrender to detoxing and letting go of clinging and chaos. The Ten of Cups detoxing, but not manifesting. Or a workaholic who's not allowed to start a new project because they have to detox. The King of Wands surrendering all, post-war announcement. A final judgment is destined. With Capricorn reversed, perhaps there's two of them there, Aquarius upright and Libra upright here as well. As the wheel turns, one life to live, and all my children. Hanging out, perhaps the Knight of Wands reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed, with Aquarius upright and Capricorn upright, with guidance and indigo proposal, perhaps of home, party, or union and happiness, challenged by the King of Pentacles reversed and the King of Cups upright, and the wounded warrior in surrender. The Knight of Swords reversed holding their tongue, with the Ten of Cups upright family destined to come. And that's happiness of the family, or they're coming off that way anyway. So hanging out at home, marriage, or business, or perhaps a religious affiliation, the Queen of Cups reversed exposed the Knight of Swords reversed, and or vice versa, the challenge being the King of Pentacles reversed, and the guidance of the King of Cups, proposing the magical surrender to great happiness destined here at 142, the Magician and the Two of Cups. So why did that come up, the underlying energy there? So there was some underlying energies here of the loving lady impatient to make choices with the letter, communication, or breakthrough about the snake and the poison apples. Romance blossoms in union with delivery and nesting. A power or institutional journey or ride to their liking, with another gift of a child with power mama protecting them. The lucky key to abundance and opening doors, with wise counsel and a community of birds. The angry man awakening to IVs and deaths, and the cross to bear, cutting cords and anchors, and the fox, and that could be Fox Channel too, and the fox leaves a hen house or country or ranch and is headed that way through time collapse to the power lady who is expecting them at 148, the Magician and the walking away and within. So let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards real quick. I did a lot already today, but it's 6:52 on the clock, the Lovers and the Queen of Swords, and 42:02 here, which is the Two of Cups and the High Priestess. So very much the feminine energy. So what is our takeaway from the messages today? We did have a lot of Pisces in there either, and Capricorns. All right, we have the cheetah. So who's cheating? So you got the cheetah mesmerized or hypnotized, or maybe somebody's getting hypnotized for addictions, and that can be anything from, cigarettes to sex to whatever. And then here is the firefly shedding inspiration to the butterfly for transformation. You can do it. It's like someone working out. This is like the trainer, and this is the one being trained. You can do it, come on. And meanwhile, they're getting hypnotism. So this is people trying to quit their addictions, whatever it is. But this is literally bringing up those energies of getting hypnotized or working out, things that will help you to break those addictions. And then we have the full transformation of the phoenix rising from the ashes after the butterfly, who may still feel weak in transition. And I always get this, like the bee who doesn't realize they become a butterfly. And that little firefly is very much like that same energy, just much smaller, as we had that Three Bears reference in the message of the day. And then we have these guys looking on. The elk, who's usually great and stable and everything, but they can get really cocky when they're off balance and they haven't eaten right. So you got to watch out for them because they could get a little arrogant there. But here's the wise owl who can keep it very balanced here most of the time. So the owl might be, sticking by the elk to make sure they keep it, clean. Because there's a lot of lower chakra energy there in the crown. And that could be a redhead as well. Okay, so then we have the bottom of the deck, which is the snake. And there again is referencing the collective awakening, as the Kundalini has sealed with the original awakeners to seal the deal so that now all the color can go into the collective, dispersing all the dark energy, which is affecting everyone around the world. And beneath that is the golden egg of the heart chakra. So again, and you can imagine aqua energy in the nest, like that picture I once did of the golden egg with the aqua color of Mother Mary in the heart. So very much mothering. It's like the snake is, see how the snake is wrapping up the egg? It's like they're mothering the egg. They're taking care of them in the nest. And then from the journey of love, There's a lot of lower chakra energy in all those cards that came out, all of the spirit animals. So again, it's working on those addictions and rising from the ashes. And working on those crown issues too, where you know, the need to be showy, that kind of stuff. But also could be crowns as well. I'm actually going to get my fillings changed out, my Mercury out at the end of the month. So crowns are coming up as well. Not that they're crowns, but my fillings. Same kind of stuff. All right, so. All right, we have she loves. 61 is taking a risk to love. She loves, a very feminine energy again, which has been consistently feminine energy all the time. Sometimes there'll be a big masculine boost, right? And you know, but it's usually a lot of feminine energy. So knowing without knowing, there's the 41. Something in the way she moves. That's coming up. Like no other. And again, here's the feminine with the weight of the world. This is the Mary Magdalene carrying the weight of the world. She's the Hercules, right? He's Atlas and she's her backup. She's the backup. Okay? So knowing without knowing that she's there for him because she loves, she's carrying the weight with him. And there's the M. And then the heaven of the 70. This is the final card of the deck. 70 is the 2 of Pentacles, the performer, the juggler. As they all get sprayed is the message I'm getting. You know, that dark energy that's coming off the planet because it's going everywhere. But they're, you know, up the higher dimensions is much easier for them to transmute the energy than for us. It's like they're watching the show. I feel like there's a projector, like the old-fashioned projector, and they're watching like a movie in the parking lot or something like that. That's what I'm getting. It's like them they're all sitting at the movie theater watching us go through all of this, which is kind of funny, actually. I don't know if any of you have been to a drive-in movie because they don't have them around much anymore. But we used to, you know, they had them everywhere when I was growing up. Let the feminine lead the way, the 39 of the Knight of Cups. Again, being love. And there she's got that kundalini wrapped around her arm. She's got a handle on it now, right? Now she's coming into her bliss state. And also the childlike joy, just for a moment, of the 46, of allowing the light in and being happy and blissful. So here's her woman and her inner child. Both are the same energy, right? See how their hair goes together? Whether she's receiving light in her inner child or whether she's just enjoying her bliss. Just for a moment, joy, and let the feminine lead the way. And again, that was coming up in the read too, of the feminine taking the leash of the lion because he asked her to. It's like the pup or the child or the dog coming and saying, please take me out for a walk. I need your help. And then these two come up, which are very similar energies together. The earth angel of the message, the page of swords, and the 60 of finding peace, riding the wave, the cosmic wave. Okay, so you notice that these two sets of cards are very similar. You know, she's got the kundalini, she got that. She's got the receiving of the light. These are the same cards in two different energies, right? Here she is, she's got the light, and here she's here she's holding the wave, and here she's riding the wave. Here she's holding the kundalini, and here she's like riding it, right? So it's very similar energies, just in two different ways, seeing different perspectives. As Mary Magdalene, the feminine is his Hercules, help giving him a break when he needs it. And then when we have the bottom of the deck, Sweet Soul Rising, is the 20 of judgment, of sweet judgment, because that childlike energy, and the choice of the 62, which is the prison. It's always your choice whether you want to stay in the imprisonment or not. If you stay in the moment, you won't feel the pain. If you look forward or back, you're going to go into that pain, because you need to stay in the moment, which is the point of all creation, the heart, the present moment, the 0 point. And judge yourself sweetly, right? Judgment is just a decision. You can't be human without making some kind of judgment calls. You have to decide what you want to eat in the morning, for example. But don't judge for others. That's their choice, right? To judge someone else is to say it's your decision to decide for them. But that's not true unless, of course, you're taking care of a young child. And then here is that sweet child. Maybe the child is being very sweet when they judge you. because they know that you don't mean it. It's always your choice to be in the prison or not. Or you can just free yourself and stay in the moment and ride the wave and enjoy it. To surf the wave as the Mary Magdalene. So again, too, with these two cards, it's like you can choose to just go with the flow and be love and take the risk, or you can carry the weight. It's up to you. But either way, it's all good. And then, of course, the end of the deck, which is, working towards heaven on earth. That's what she's doing. She's literally like, an African woman, hauling the water, working towards heaven. Beautiful messages. So let's see. I'm just going to read you from the Journey of Love, which is 39. Nope, that's not the first one. 61, which is the year I was born. All right, she loves. Forgiveness is here for you now. Can you partake of it? Forgiveness for your own self, for the times you messed up, that you didn't love or forgot to trust, that you tried to take over and decided against surrender. Forgiveness is here for you now, for the times when you couldn't forgive another, even if you really tried and you really wanted to. She loves. She's here for you now. Open your heart to the angel goddess of forgiveness and let her fill your heart. You are free. This oracle brings you a message from the divine. You are forgiven. You are worthy of forgiveness, and you are capable of great spiritual generosity in forgiving others. If there is a person that you cannot forgive, you are really just not forgiving yourself, perhaps for being vulnerable, or for not knowing better, or for not listening to your own intuition. It's time to let that go and allow the forgiveness that the divine has for you to fill your heart. You are free now. You just need to realize it. The cherry blossoms know when to bloom each year and never question whether its beauty is enough. There is peace in knowing that you always bloom well, yet man spends a lifetime in wonder. Remember your water, your sleep. It's 7:02 on the clock, the day I met my twin. Make sure you remember your water, your sleep, your joy, and your nature. And it's all up to you guys. You can choose whether to stay here in the present moment or go off balance and bring yourself back again. So be good to yourselves. It was just 5225, which is the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Wands. Take a deep breath. Rise and be loved, guys. Bye.